So if you're going to check out yung mga online resources natin, there are actually so many modules na ginagamit, di ba? So for the meantime, we're gonna be using the pivot or the pivot modules na ginagamit namin dito sa EdTech unit. And based on sa nakikita nyo sa screen, as long as we got the MELT targeted, we will be able to continue using this material. So it says here, grade 8 science, quarter 2, week 6 po tayo. Ang content dapat natin is characteristics of comets, meteors, and asteroids. So hopefully we'll be able to get the gist of this lesson and we'll be able to answer your activities. So technically, ito po yung ginagamit nating module, yung ang tinatawag na pivot na module from Calabarzon. So hopefully you got the same module with you guys right now so that we'll be able to be talking in the same page, okay? All right, so we will be focusing on comets, asteroids, and meteoroids. That will be on page 34, yes. So as I speak right now, I can see a lot of you guys sending good afternoons and greetings. Hello guys. Later on, I hope I'll be able to see some answers on the questions that we're going to do. And don't worry, I made this so simple. We're not gonna go through the first sentence down to the last. We're gonna discuss first the main topic before we're gonna go answer your question, your activity, so that we'll be able to understand thoroughly first the lesson. All right, that's my style. I like learning first before challenging myself. All right. So once we're done with this lesson, ang expectation po natin is that you will understand the characteristics of comets, meteors, and asteroids. I love this topic. I love any topic that has something to do with space, really. All right. And the expected learning predict the appearance of comets based on recorded data of previous studies and explain the regular occurrences of meteor shower. All right. Let me just enlarge this so that I'll be able to see this clearly as well. I'm talking about my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about first comets and asteroids. Ano ba itong comets and asteroids? Actually, when I was a kid and I was a student like you guys, especially in elementary, I am confused. What is a comet? What is an asteroid? And then papasok pa dito yung meteor, meteorite, and similar words. So nakakalito. So I made sure that we will be able to understand these terms clearly once we ended this session. Okay, so let's focus first on comets and asteroids. So I have here a copy as well of the modules that I shown you a while ago. So, but we're going to summarize. What are comets and asteroids? Take note of the screen, class. You can copy if you want, because I'm already made a summary of the discussion. So this will be very helpful for you. It says here that comets and asteroids, these are remnants from the formation of the solar system 4.6 billion years ago. Can you imagine that? So basically, everything that we see in space is actually remnants of the formation of our solar system. Are you aware or are you familiar with the theory about what we call Big Bang Theory, right? A dying star exploded and then its parts spread out throughout space. But as time passes by, a gravitational force was developed at the middle, right? And then this gravitational force started to pull them back. But of course, sa space kasi, di ba, wala namang land, wala namang ibang gravity. So while they are being pulled back, they started to spin around that gravitational source, di ba? So as you can imagine, yung mga umiikot na yun, they smack at each other, a lot of rocks hit each other until they form new bodies, which we now call planets. And referred to by astronomers, sabi nila, in order for us to identify or give a label to these floating things, we're gonna call them near Earth objects. That's NEO, near Earth objects. Why near Earth objects? Because basically, there's only one celestial body that is close to us, right? And that is our moon, which is a satellite, right? So, paano naman? Well, how about this random things that will show up? Diba? Yung para bang after some years, it will show up. Anong tatawag natin dito? Siyempre, Each one has an identity, a comet, an asteroid. But astronomers, like scientists, they are scientists, right? Gusto nila magkaroon ng category. And they came up with this title, Near Earth Objects. So anything that is on space, aside from our moon, they call it Near Earth Objects, or NEO. So let's move on. I hope you were able to copy that one. All right. Here are simple notes to remember what is a comet and what is an asteroid. A comet is icy bodies, okay, or objects. An asteroid is a rocky fragment. When you say a fragment, it used to be a part of something. Parte siya dati, right? Remember the star when it exploded, right? So parte siya ng star na yon. It materialized, naging physical object, so it's an asteroid. The difference between asteroid and comet, again, is that yung comet, icy body siya. It's not entirely made of ice, but at least it is something covered in ice, compared to asteroid, which is just a simple rock, a giant rock to be exact. Okay, so remember, comets, icy bodies; asteroid, these are just rocky objects. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's talk about comets and asteroids. Like I said, class, just a heads up, lahat itong binabasa ko or dinidiscuss ko, galing sa module, ginawa ko lang siyang shortcut in order for us to easily understand them, di ba? Okay, comets and asteroids. Comets and asteroids are irregular shapes. Although we see them sa sky, they look like round things. That's because we're too far away from that object. But pag lumapit tayo sa kanya, it will look like a randomly shaped object. Diba? Medyo may oblong, merong pitpit. So iba-iba. And they have varied sizes. Actually, what is the smallest comet? Or what is the smallest asteroid? It's as small as a dust speck. Yes, even though it's as small as a dust speck, it is already considered a comet or an asteroid. Okay? So, hindi como maliit, hindi nakikita, hindi na siya comet. As long as it's a rock or an object flying in space, it is already considered as a comet or an asteroid. It's bigger than a comet. Also, it says here, it reflects light from the sun depending on their size and composition. So, they are able to reflect the light from the sun, depending on their composition, of course. What are the compositions of comet and asteroid? Well, it says here, note, silicate is one of the main component of a comet or an asteroid. Silicate are minerals containing silicon, oxygen, and at least one metal. Okay? We don't know what exactly that metal is kasi syempre, it's in outer space. So, astronomers are not able to get samples from lahat ng mga comets and asteroids. So one thing for sure is that they have silicon, oxygen, and at least one kind of metal. All right. Okay. So later on, I'm gonna check your comments, guys. Let's just let's just focus on this discussion first because I'm so excited to learn, and I hope that you too are excited as I am. Okay. So this how comet and asteroid looks like. As you can see, when it comes to asteroid, it's just a big piece of rock. Okay? It's not icy. Okay? Unlike comet, aside from being icy, we can also always notice that there's a tail, okay, coming off at the end, which is actually technically incorrect kasi hindi naman palaging sa end. This depends on the radiation of the sun. Yung nakikita po nating tail is actually yung mga natutunaw na ice, yung mga fumes. So, while they are getting near the sun, yung radiation ng sun, itutulak niya yan. So, for example, nalampasan niya na yung sun. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, hindi na pwedeng nasa likod ng comet ang tail. Nasa harap na, even though dun din siya papunta. Alright? Let's move. And also, why do comets have tails? Mga ba naman? This is a trivia, guys. I was not able to find it in the module, but since we are talking about comets, it's important that we understand bakit pa nagkakaroon ng tail ang comet. Let's answer. Let's figure that out. It says here, the comet's tail actually develops, or the comet developed tails as they approach the perihelion. Ano ba yung perihelion? Class, napag-aralan nyo na ba yung perihelion? Okay? Perihelion is the place in the orbit which is closest to the sun. Di ba ang opposite nun, yung away from the sun, aphelion. So, yung comet daw, nagde-develop ng tail kapag nandun na siya sa path niya, ng orbit niya, napapalapit na siya ng sun. Because like I said a while ago, yung radiation ng sun, tinutulak niya yung components ng comet na dumarating. So, natutunaw yung ice, yung nagkakaroon ng konting burning. So, yun ang nagiging dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng tail ang comet. And I want you to copy this note as well, okay? The sun's heat vaporizes some of the comet's material, releasing dust particles that were trapped in the ice. So, yun ang sikreto ng comet's tail. Just a small trivia for you guys, which is not, again, found in the module. Okay, let's go ahead with the notes. Both comets and asteroids orbit the sun. This is an important note. And you will figure that out later on. Siyempre, you need this in order to do some activities. Again, both comets and asteroids orbit the sun. Comets usually come from Oort cloud, while few comes from Kuiper belt. Again, comets usually come from the Oort cloud, while few comes from Kuiper belt. Ano ba itong Oort cloud at saka Kuiper belt na to, di ba? Dinadagdagan nila yung mga terms. So, of course, we need to learn them as well. So, this is the picture, an illustration of the solar system together with the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. I will be able to explain this to you in my own words, but let's go through the slides first, okay? So, as you can see, yung Kuiper belt is actually nasa loob ng Oort cloud. So, what is Kuiper belt and Oort cloud? In order for us to understand that, we need to learn, class, unless you already know this, that in the solar system, there are actually two asteroid belts. Okay? Again, we're talking about asteroid now. Ano nga ba yung kanina? Comet. Icy objects moving in space. Asteroid, these are rocky fragments floating in space. Okay? They're not traveling. Comets are traveling. Asteroids are not, simply floating. Okay? And in our solar system, there are actually two belts made up of asteroids. Yung number one, main asteroid belt, yun yung familiar tayong lahat. Can you remember back in your elementary days that there's a picture of the solar system, di ba? From the sun, we got the four terrestrial planets, which is the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And then before we go to the next set of planets, di ba meron nakaikot na asteroid belt doon? That's the main asteroid belt. Ano naman tong Kuiper belt? Kuiper belt is actually another asteroid belt lampas naman nung next set of planets. Okay? So, dividing the terrestrial planet and the Jovian planets, we have the main asteroid belt. And then beyond that, we have the Kuiper belt. Let us define this. Main asteroid belt, just like I said, it separates the terrestrial planets from the Jovians. We're going to move to the next one because you are already familiar with this one, class. So this one is the Kuiper belt. Kuiper belt is another asteroid belt surrounding and beyond the orbit of Neptune. Okay? So bakit pa nagkaroon ng mga ganito? But before I'm going to answer my question, let's talk about the Oort cloud. Ano ba yung Oort cloud? The Oort cloud is located beyond the Kuiper belt. So I'm going to explain bakit may asteroid belt, bakit may Kuiper belt, bakit may Oort cloud. Pero let's i-locate muna natin sila. So the main asteroid belt is somewhere between the terrestrial and the Jovian planets. The Kuiper belt is outside the 8 planets or 9 if you still include Pluto. And then beyond the Kuiper belt is the Oort cloud. But aside from that, it's not actually a cloud. It is believed to be a sphere containing the solar system. So, what is a sphere? It's a round object containing something. So, imagine ninyo, parang aquarium na glass, di ba, class? Aquarium na glass. That is the Oort cloud. But it's not made of glass, of course. It's made of dust and rocks. But it is in spherical form, di ba? Inside that, nandoon yung solar system. Yun. Alright? So, naintindihan ba? So, it is beyond the Kuiper belt and it is believed to be a sphere. Bakit ba natin pinag-uusapan to? Kasi, sabi sa module natin, remember, comets usually come from the Oort cloud while few comes from Kuiper belt. Bakit ko nasabi ito? Kasi nung bata ako, I was wondering, there is a comet na dumadaan sa sky. Saan nanggaling yun? Does that comet came from other parts of the galaxy or other parts of the universe? No. Galing din siya sa atin, sa loob ng solar system. But it depends on kung saan exactly. It could be from the Kuiper belt, which is outside the 8 planets of the solar system, or it could be coming from the Oort cloud, which is beyond the Kuiper belt, but still part of the solar system. Okay? And talking about the comets, class, I want you to take notes of all of this I'm discussing, okay? Like I said, it all came from the module, but I made a summary so that mas madali nating masagutan ang mga activities natin later on, all right? So we have what we call long period comets come from the Oort cloud. So the long period comets, nanggagaling sila sa Oort cloud. Remember that? Oort cloud, long period comets ang binibigay sa atin. Sa Kuiper belt, dito naman nanggagaling ang short period comets. Okay? Again, Oort cloud, long period comets, Kuiper belt, short period comets. Pero ano yung ibig sabihin nun? Ano yung long period comets? Ano yung short period comets? Let's see. There you go. Long period comets are comets that takes about more than 200 years to orbit the sun, right? Specific po tayo. Orbit the sun. Why? Again, because we're talking about comets na hindi nanggagaling sa ibang part ng universe. Dito lang sa solar system. Okay? So yung mga long period comets na nanggagaling sa kanina, yung pinag-usapan natin kanina ng cloud, it takes about more than 200 years para maikot nila yung sun. How about the short period comets na usually nanggagaling sa Kuiper belt? It takes only less than 200 years to orbit the sun. Okay? That's long period, more than 200 years. Short period comets, that's less than 200 years to orbit the sun. Now we move to asteroid. Okay? We're done with the comets. Now we're talking about asteroid. So asteroids are small bodies that orbit a larger object in space. Okay, so it's also similar to planets and satellites. They are orbiting larger objects. And since there are asteroids that are bigger than planets, obviously, ang iniikutan nila yung gitna, yung sun. Okay, again, asteroid are small bodies that orbit a large object in space and can have carbon, stone, or metal in them. Okay, we're not exactly sure kung anong contents ng asteroid at this point, but they can have carbon, stone, or metal in them. Okay, so this is just a reference class. Nandito ito sa ating module. That's table 1, comparison of some characteristics of comets and asteroids. If you have time, of course, because studying science is not just about answering questions. It's more about feeding your brains, right? So if you have time, find a way to study this table. Maganda siya. Okay? We have the origin sa comet and the asteroid. We have the shape. We have the size ranges. Sabi ko nga, from as small as a dust speck to as large as a mountain. Depende. Which is very dangerous kung dumating sa Earth natin. Of course, chemical composition, nandyan din siya. And we have the orbit. Okay, take note. Sabi dito sa table 1, comet, orbit, highly elliptical. Okay, you know kung bakit ako nag-emphasize. Yes, I'm your tutor. I'm not your teacher. So I'm giving you some clues, right? So orbit, para sa comet, they are highly elliptical. Orbit is yung path na dinadaanan. Hindi naman sila nakakalat lang eh. They are following a certain path, and that is because of the gravitational pull of the sun. Okay, so comet highly elliptical. Asteroid naman more rounded. Bakit more rounded? Because they are following a certain path katulad ng planets, 'di ba? Habang yung comet parang tumapon lang, naglakbay lang, and then nahila ng sun, so medyo iba ng konti, more on highly elliptical. All right. By the way, class, um, we are live right now, right? We are live right now. So there's a possibility that if you are trying to copy what's on the screen, you might not be able to complete it kasi syempre nagdi-discussion tayo. But like any Facebook feed, magiging recorded to, and I advise you to visit this feed again sometime later and go back to this recorded video, all right? There are also some additional facts about comets, and that is on if you have the same module with you. Let me just go to that page. There it is. Okay, this is on page 37. Okay, we have here some descriptions of the comets and the asteroid. Okay, made of frozen ice, gas, and dust. Just like I said a while ago, have long gas tail, also known as planetoids. When you say planetoids, these are small planets, but not exactly an actual planet. It just looks like a planet, okay? Made of rock and or metal. Again, this is on page 37, guys. So if you have the same copy of module for Science 8, Week 6, this is on page 37. It orbits the sun. Ceres is the biggest. Take note of that. Ceres is the biggest. Halley is one, and I'm familiar with Halley. I hope you are too. Some come close to the Earth. Most orbit between Mars and Jupiter. Some have hit the Earth. So these are just additional facts that you can go through, read, and add to your knowledge to enrich your learning about science and meteors. Okay, meteors, asteroids, and comets. So let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about meteors or meteoroids. This is the most confusing part because like I said to you guys, nung bata ako, I'm getting confused. Meteor, meteorites, meteoroids, what's the difference? So I'm going to help you understand the differences between meteors and the other words that has the meteo at the beginning, okay? Meteoroid, take note, a small rock or particle debris in the solar system. Again, a meteoroid is a small rock or particular debris in the solar system. What is a debris? Debris in Tagalog is kalat, dumi, right? So a meteoroid is just a small dumi in the solar system just floating around. And like I said a while ago, sizes from dust, which is very small, okay? The dust, alikabok, to 10 meters in diameter. Can you imagine that? A meteor can be as big as 10 meters in diameter. So hopefully it will not happen na magkaroon tayo ng meteor shower na ganun kalaki. Okay? That's very dangerous. Okay. Meteor, ito. Speaking of meteor shower, guys, it refers to an event when meteors occur in a close time frame in the same part of the sky. You are all familiar with this one, di ba? Yung para bang, especially you, no, during the time that we are having our campings, right? Yung Boy Scout, Girl Scout camping, di ba? One thing that we do during camping at night, binapanood natin yung stars. Tapos pag merong nag-shooting star, wow, we call it shooting star or falling star. But pag marami, of course, it's already called the meteor shower. Okay. I just turned up the volume because merong doon sa sasakyan dumadaan. I'm sorry about that. Okay. This is the very thing that helped me understand the difference between meteoroids, meteor, and meteorite. Okay. I'm going to your comments. I'm reading your comments. Don't worry, guys. But I'm going to your comments later on after the discussion. Okay. I'm living right next to the street. Okay. All right. What's the difference between meteoroids, meteor, and meteorite pa? Meteoroids these are the objects in space, like I said, ranging from dust size to small asteroid, meaning class. If this rock is still floating in the space, it's called meteoroid. Again, if this object is simply floating or moving in space, it's called meteoroid. We don't call it meteor yet. Okay, meteoroid pa lang. But if a meteoroid enters an atmosphere, but a big but, totally burned up, again, totally burned up, that is what we call meteor. Now I get it. Okay. Okay. So meteor is something that we will not get actually because it will burn up totally. Hindi na siya makakaabot dito sa lupa. Okay? But however, if a meteoroid was able to survive yung entry niya sa ating atmosphere at masunog siya ng konti because of friction with the air or in the atmosphere at malaglag siya sa lupa, that's the time we're gonna call it meteorite. Got it? All right, awesome. Again, if it's still floating or moving in the space, it's called meteoroids. If it went in our atmosphere and got burned by the friction of the air in the atmosphere and totally burned, it's meteor. And then kung nag-survive naman siya and it landed on the ground, it's called meteorite. Okay, take note of those, guys. Let's move now. Now we need to talk about comets versus meteors. These are just additional notes before we go to our activities, okay? A small object with elliptical orbit, that's a comet, made from ice, dust, and other gases, helium, methane, and hydrogen. Ito yung mga bagay-bagay na nasa comet, kaya when it comes into the atmosphere, nasusunog siya. Kapag lumalapit na siya sa sun, nasusunog pa rin siya because of the helium, methane, hydrogen, and the ice. Kaya nga sabi dito, these gases heats up, releasing ice and light, forming the tail. Okay, take note of those three gases plus the ice. Okay, that's the comet. And most famous comet is called Halley's Comet. Okay, ever since I was a kid, ito na lagi ang most famous sa mga libro. Okay, because everyone knows it. Bumabalik-balik po kasi siya, which is every 78 years. So, speaking of 78 years, note here is that comets can be seen na paulit-ulit. Hindi nga lang agad. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, pag nakita mong comet na to, after 78 years, makikita mo siya ulit. Take note of that. Okay? And then we have the meteor, a particle of space, rock, or dust passing the Earth's atmosphere across the sky. Meteor shower occurs when many meteors pass at the same time. And yung nga, yung meteorite, a meteor that survives atmospheric entry. Shortcut lang naman ito. Meteor, common terms for everyone, falling star and shooting star. Diba? As kahit yung mga baby at saka kinder, yan ang tawag sa meteor. Okay. Were you able to get the notes or understand what is on your modules? Let's go to the comment section. Ako si Mia. Good PM po. Hi Mia. Hi Mia. Is it Mia or ako? Oh, siyempre si Mia. Chino Jaime from Santa Ana Elementary School po. Hello guys. There are some names na mahirap i-pronounce, but thank you for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying your time with me and I'm enjoying myself as well. Good afternoon, Ana Jane Acosta Ferrer, Rosie Lapada, good PM po, Kanoa Kiera. Hello po, may certificate po ba ito? So I guess this is a teacher. Ma'am, siguro yung edtech na lang po sasagot doon. Christina David, hello everyone. Jerama, Levelin Pialo, De La Cruz. Okay, hello guys. So let's, to you grade 8 students, let's answer learning task 1, true or false, all right? I'm going to adjust the comment. I'm not sure if it should be on the top or at the bottom to see the latest one. All right, so let's answer. There's only, I believe, 5 questions. Okay, 5 questions for that. Okay, number 1, guys, I need participation from the grade 8 students. A comet is a ball of ice that moves around in the outer space. Is it true or false? We're gonna answer true or false. Watching from DepEd, the Polog City, James Albareote Solomon. Hello, James. Anyone who could answer? Is a comet a ball of ice that moves around in the outer space? Very good, Chino Jaime Samonte. It's actually true. Kaya nga, I'm emphasizing the things that we need to remember. Again, science is not about memorizing, guys. It's more about remembering, okay? Yung tipong kahit madapa ka, you will not forget what you've learned. Okay, Don Romuel Benaventura Balmaceda, true. Very good, Don. Chino Jaime Samonte, again, sent his answer. Grade 5 po ako. Jalen Mugatar, very good. Nag-advance learning ka, Jalen. Brian P. Dumali, true. Very good. Okay, class. Let's move to the next question. Comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. Comets are believed to be in long elliptical orbits. I believe you will remember that I gave an emphasis on this kanina. Is it true or false? Comets are believed to be in... Okay, Chino Jaime Samonte, very good again. It's true. Alam ko, every one of you knows it's true. Okay, very good. I'm excited because natututo kayo sa akin and that makes me happy and I'm having fun. Let's move to number 3. Comets can come back into view from time to time. Number 3 na tayo, guys, okay? Can indicate the number para alam ko what number we are answering. Brian P. Dumali said true. Not sure nga lang kung ano number, Brian. Comets can come back into view from time to time. Chino Jaime Samonte, very good. Para meron na tayong mga honor students dito sa comment section. Yes, that is correct. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, just like the Halley's Comet, after 70-something years, makikita nyo siya ulit. So that is one characteristic ng comet. They always come back. Okay? Kaya lang once in a lifetime lang yata. And for the number 4, second to the last, comets are same with meteors. Indicate the number, guys. Comets are same with meteors. Is it true or false? Well, I'm waiting. Don says true. Don Balmaceda, number 3. Very good, Don. How about this one, number 4? Okay, Chino says false. All right, and Mark Justin says false. Keroda, very good, Mark. Very good, Chino. And Don Romuel says false. Brian Dumali, false. Jalen Mugatar, false. Very good, guys. And I do believe yung iba pang susunod, they are answering false because this is very easy. That is what science is all about. It's not rememorizing. It's about remembering, okay? And last question. Asteroid orbits the sun. Number 5. Asteroids orbit the sun. Jalen Mugatar says false. I'm not just sure what number. Chino Jaime Samonte says true. Okay. Anyone else? Very good, Chino. Kung meron lang awards sana, di ba? Yung parang giveaway. Ang dami nyo na makukuha sa akin. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Chino Jaime Samonte says true. Anyone else? Brian Dumali, true. Very good, Brian. Of course, when I said very good, that means you are all correct, guys. Jali Mugator, true. Don, true. Mark, Justin, Felix, Kerada, true. Very good, very good. You're making me happy. You're making me enjoy myself. Jalen, true po. Very good, Jalen Mugator. Very good. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. Since we were able to understand, I do believe you were able to understand the lesson, okay? I'm going to give you some guides on how to answer the rest of the lesson, okay? So this is going to be your home study pa rin. I just reviewed it for you so that you'll be able to easily understand what you're going to do. We're done with learning task 1 that was earlier, and then we got learning task 2. This actually, learning task 2 is divided into 3. Okay, take note of that. First part is that box that you see with the 3 columns: object, description, and location. So you just need to come up with your own unique words to describe and to give the location of the comet, asteroid, and meteoroid. Okay, so sariling diskarte ito. So depende na sa teacher nyo kung paano siya mag-check. And then, second part is the number 1 and number 2. It's asking you for your own ideas as well. Explain what happened in a meteoroid in order for it to become a meteorite. And then number 2, how can you distinguish asteroids from a comet? And then, Yung susunod na part, which is the last part for learning task 2, gagamitin nyo yung mga words na nasa boxes. What are those words? Asteroid, meteor, asteroid belt, meteoroid, comet, and meteorite. Yun ang isasagot nyo sa number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Is that understood? Is that clear? Anyone from the audience? I do believe you got it. Again, it's 3-part, okay? Yung box na una, for you to describe and give your location using your own unique words. 1 and 2, sarili mo ring diskarte ang pagsagot. Pero yung 3 up to 8, gagamitin mo yung mga words na nasa box. At asteroid, meteor, asteroid belt, meteorite, comet, and meteorite. Okay? Dito naman, class, sa learning task number 3, sarili na naman itong understanding. Again, science is not about memorizing. It's more about remembering and understanding. And the only way you can prove na naintindihan yung lesson is by giving your own unique ideas. Okay, so for learning task number 3, sasagutin nyo to sa hiwalay na papel or answer sheet if you have those in your school. So you're gonna give your description for the comets, ano yung unique niya, unique characteristics, and then you're gonna give a unique characteristics for the asteroids, and also, ano yung similarity niya. Kaya nga meron nakulong dun, comets and asteroids. That's for learning task 3, okay? And we're now down to this one. That's why the next slide will be, well done, class. Okay, so here's the thing. Makinig tayo, makinig tayo. I'm going to correct something on this module, okay? Because I got confused. And I don't want you to get confused as well. You will notice that on this page, yung letter E, learning task 4, sabi niya, place a check mark in your answer sheet to indicate characteristics of asteroids, comets, and meteors. I'm not sure kung parehas tayo, pero yun na nasa kopya ko. But if we're gonna move to the next page, it says, define the following terms in your own words. Write your answer in the separate sheet of paper. They got mixed up, okay? They got mixed up. Yung direction na nakikita nyo sa learning task 5, define the following terms, yun is actually for the learning task 4, okay? In a separate sheet of paper for learning task 4, the correct instruction is define in your own words yung meteor, comets, meteorite, what's this one? It's too small. And elliptical orbit and asteroids, okay? Yan ang gagawin nyo sa learning task 4. You will define it, okay? Pero dito, disregard the direction because ang gagawin nyo dito is maglalagay kayo ng check mark, okay? Either i-check mo nyo yung asteroid ba siya, comet ba siya, or meteor ba siya, okay? For example, yung una, it says, appears as a streak of light in the sky. So, ilalagyan nyo ng check mark kung yung sinabi bang yun is yung asteroid or yung comet or ang i-check nyo ay yung meteor. Were you able to follow? Very good. So, basically, class, you can do this. I believe in you. Just go back to the discussion, which is very simple, and I believe you will be able to ace this module, okay? So let's go to your comments before I go ahead and bid you good luck with your studies. So Jalin Mogatar, may true po. Jalin Mogatar, yes po. Chino Meteor, Don Balmacera, yes. Jalin Mogatar and Chino, okay. So you guys are the best in the comment section, and I do believe marami pa nanonood dyan. I thank you guys, you all. I thank you for supporting this, and I am so happy that I was able to help you out. Again, I'm not teaching you, okay? I'm just giving you some advices and some ideas on how to answer this, all right? All right, so and there you have it, guys. Congratulations, class. You are all amazing. And this has been an awesome experience that I had with you. So for the meantime, I bid you all a sweet goodbye. See you back next week for another fun-filled learning adventure in this amazing world of science, particularly Science 8. This is Sir Z. Class dismissed.